All right, welcome back everyone to your favorite Klaviyo email marketing YouTube channel. My name is Philip Moldovanu. Today, we got a special one for you, something that a lot of people have problems with, a lot of my clients have struggles with before they come in and start working with us. We're going to talk about why your emails go to spam in the first place, why they're not in the primary inbox, why they're in promotions, and more importantly, why they're in spam. If your emails are in spam, no one's seeing them, and you're not making as much money as you could. And I'm also going to explain to you guys how you can fix it. Okay. So just to be clear here, getting out of spam is not an overnight thing. You're not going to be able to fix it in like 24 hours. The fastest I've been able to fix it, I took a brand recently from 10% open rates to 50% open rates in about 2 weeks. And so that's pretty quick, but usually it's about like 2 to 4 weeks to get completely out of spam and to like actually restore your deliverability. Okay. So let's get right into it. Now, why should you listen to me? Well, if it's your first time on the channel, welcome in. I have this channel specifically for e-commerce brands who are looking to scale through Klaviyo, through email marketing in general. My name is Philip. I run an email and SMS marketing agency working specifically with e-commerce brands, 6-figure brands, 7-figure brands, 8-figure brands, as well as 9-figure brands doing over $100 million per year. And so here is just a random screenshot I pulled from one of our clients who's pulling in 69% of their business all through Klaviyo, up 405% from the previous period. I have tons more screenshots. I have tons more before and afters. I won't bore you with that, but I send millions of emails every month, and I kind of just share my knowledge and share my strategies and give you guys some tutorials on this channel. So first things first, why do your emails go to spam in the first place, right? Like what is actually happening here, right? Let me move this camera. So first things first, you have to understand that every single domain has what's called like a sender reputation. Think of it like a credit score. Okay. So email deliverability is dependent on what your sender reputation is. It's like this abstract thing. It's not like there's an actual like score, right? It's not like, oh, your sender reputation is an 80%. No, it's just kind of like this abstract term. It's a good way to think about it. And the higher your sender reputation, the less likely you are to go to spam, the more likely you are to end up in the primary inbox. Okay. So whenever you send emails and people don't engage with it, right? And I'll explain what that means in a second here. Your score goes down, right? When you have low open rates on your emails, right? Over time, it's going to get lower and lower and lower because your score is going down. And inbox providers like Yahoo, Google, iCloud, whatever, right? They're seeing that and they're slowly losing trust with you. And they're not really justifying putting you in the primary inbox because they're saying, oh, this person's content is clearly misaligned. They're not sending out good stuff. It could be spam. Throw them in the spam folder, right? That's kind of what happens. So you want to be very careful about what you're actually sending. Okay, if your open rates are looking like this, click rate isn't terrible, but open rate is god awful. I mean, 16% is really low. A bounce rate of 3% is really high. If your metrics are looking anything like this, you have a pretty big problem. And honestly, if your open rates are below like 20%, you're probably going to spam. Like people just aren't seeing the email. Because even if you're sending like terrible emails, right? If you're sending just terrible emails and you're still getting like 10, 15% open rates, if you're sending terrible emails, you can still get like a 30% open rate, even if the content's terrible. If you're landing in the actual primary inbox. So if you're getting anything less than that, you're just ending up in spam. Like people just aren't seeing the emails. It's as clear as day, right? So here are some different common causes, right? Number one, like I said, low open rates. Okay. When you have low open rates over time, that means your content isn't resonating. Okay. Whatever you're sending out, people are fatigued. People aren't opening it. They stop caring. Let's say you're spamming promotions, right? On the 20th promotional email that you send, people are just kind of recognizing like, oh, it's Apple again, for lack of a better, for example purposes. Oh, it's Apple. They're just sending another promotion. Like I've opened the last 19 emails. It's just promotions. Don't care. Delete, delete, delete. And from that point on, they stop opening. Your open rates start dropping. Inbox providers see that and they stop putting you in the primary inbox, if that makes sense. Okay. So that's a huge one. You want to make sure that your content is actually aligned. You're sending valuable content. You're not spamming promotions. You want to make sure your emails don't all look the same. I'll talk a bit more about that in a second, but that's one cause. Okay. It's a symptom and it's a cause. Okay. Low open rates. Number two, blasting emails. Let me make a little space here. Blasting emails to cold or inactive lists, right? So if you're a brand and you only send like a couple, I was on a call, one of our clients now, actually, we just started with them and things are already going awesome, but I just started with the brand and on the call, I was like, hey, so how many campaigns do you guys send per week? And he's like, oh, per week. I don't know about per week. He's like, we send 3 to 4 per year. And I was like, oh, okay. And lo and behold, he had low open rates, right? So when you have to understand, when you send emails to a list, that hasn't heard from you in a long time, engagement's going to be super low. People forgot, people don't care anymore, right? It's been too long. Okay. You need to constantly be staying consistent with your campaigns, right? You need to be on the ball here. You need to be hitting people and getting into this rhythm of them seeing you and sending good content as well. Okay. You can't be sending spammy promotional content 24/7 and expecting people to still engage with it, right? So never send emails to like a cold or inactive list, right? This is not cold email. This is email marketing as it relates to e-commerce. Cold email outreach is a whole separate thing. Never take a list that you haven't ever contacted, that hasn't opted in. Never take that list and try to throw them into Klaviyo. I see a lot of people doing that. It's not going to work. It's just going to tank things and mess up the account. Do not do that. And then make sure you're staying consistent. If you're not sending emails for a long time, people again are just going to get unengaged naturally. You're going to send an email to them again after 6 months, and it's going to get a terrible open rate, right? And then that signals to inbox providers. That's like sounding the alarms, like, oh my God, people do not care about what this guy is sending, right? So yeah, don't do that. Okay. Now, here's how you're going to fix your deliverability. So if you're watching this, and chances are you probably are watching this and you're in this situation, which is why you clicked on the video. But if you're at like 10, 15, 20, 30% open rates and you want your open rates to be 55, 60% like they should be, this is what you're going to do. Number one, you're going to stop sending boring emails, for lack of a better term. Okay. This is a little just meme I wanted to throw in here. Not super funny, but I figured, hey, let me spice it up a bit. Anyways, yeah, stop sending boring emails, plain and simple. Again, not to sound like a broken record here, but it is really important to understand the actual content you're sending will keep you out of spam. People just think that spam is all like technical stuff on the back end and all of these SPF and DKIM and DMARC records that you need to add to your domain. Like, yes, that stuff helps 100%, guys, but your content plays a big role. Like, what are you actually sending to people? Is it worth the open? Like, think about that. You have to earn the open every single time. Your subject lines need to be on par. Your preview text needs to be on par. I'm not saying clickbait people, but kind of clickbait people. No, I'm not saying that, but make it interesting, make it worth opening, right? Your emails should be stimulating. I have a whole other video on design and how to create emails that are stimulating. I actually have a whole file here literally filled with email designs. And not to get super off topic, but you want your emails to be colorful. You want them to be stimulating. You want to capture people's attention, right? Bright colors, clear product shots, getting right into it, right? Main idea of the email is immediately presented. This is what you want emails to look like. You don't want your emails to be stale and boring because people just don't care anymore and they're not going to open them, right? So that's the first thing, okay? Stop sending boring emails. The average consumer nowadays is constantly being stimulated on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, like you guys are right now, although YouTube's a little bit better. It's more like long form. But you need to treat your emails like entertainment as well. Like, you need to be capturing these people's attention as soon as they open it, okay? And then here are some other rules of thumb for sorry, I'm just trying to get this thing out of here, man. So never resetting the same email creative twice. I see a lot of brands doing this. Like, for example, you're running a sale, right? You're running a 20% off promotion. You do it twice, 3 times a year. And they'll do the launch email, the 20% off email, and then they'll do the reminder email halfway through. It'll literally be the exact same email. They'll just swap out the text on the heading to reminder or last chance, and they're using the same creative every single time. It's like, guys, you need to switch it up. Like, it has to be different. You can't be using the same creative over and over and over again. Like, it's just not going to work, right? People will get really bored. It will get really stale really fast. And again, open rates will drop. You end up going into the spam folder. Okay. So your open rates are super, super precious. Okay. Don't only send promotional emails. You should have a good split between promotional emails and value-based content, educational content, giving people something rather than constantly taking. Okay. If you sign up for my newsletter, in the link in the description, I have a full free email marketing newsletter. It's totally free. Upon joining, you get over 80 pages of my email marketing guides and knowledge. One of them is, I believe it's 80 something different campaign ideas that are non-promotional, right? Non-promotional campaign ideas, value-based campaign ideas. If you guys want that, just click the link below, enter your email, sign up. I send out weekly email marketing tips, tricks, things that we're doing, just like this video, just in long form content format. So yeah, just a little subtle plug there, link in the description. Now, that's another one. Don't send promotional emails constantly, okay? Mix it up, okay? Always keep things fresh and stimulating. We already talked about that. Always use intriguing subject lines. We already talked about that. Don't give them the entire main idea in the subject line. Like, kind of massage them into opening. Make them curious in the subject line. That's what the subject line's for. It's not to tell them what it is. It's to get them curious on what's in the email, okay? Just keep that in mind. So that's that. Now, this is actually like technically what to do, okay, when you're in spam. So what you want to do when you're in the spam folder and you're getting open rates of, again, 10, 15, 20%, just bad open rates, right? What you want to do here is the first thing you want to do is you want to triage your list and send to extremely, extremely tight segments of that list, okay? So you need to send campaigns to that segment first. So what you're going to do is you're going to find a group of people who are highly engaged with your content. So let's say you're sending out emails to 30,000 people and only 2,000 of them are really engaging. You're going to chop away all of those 28,000 that aren't engaging. You're going to, did I say 3 or 2? Anyways, you get the idea. You're going to take the ones that are engaging. Let's say it's 2,000 of them, and you're only going to send an email to them. Okay. Now, naturally, because those people are already engaging, you're going to get a high open rate, right? You're going to get 50% plus open rate is what we're shooting for here, right? And then from there, that's like credits. That's like boosting your sender reputation when you get that high open rate. Like inbox providers are taking note of that. They're watching you, and when they see like, oh, this guy got a 65% open rate on this campaign, like that's pretty good. Let's bump his score up a little bit, right? And you're going to keep doing that. And I'll explain exactly what segments to actually include in a second here. But basically, what you want to do is you're going to slowly open it up and open and open and open. And as your reputation gets better, eventually, after enough sends and after enough openings, you'll be able to send to your entire list and still manage 50% open rates, and you won't end up in the spam folder anymore, right? So it's basically just like, if I had to summarize it, you're building up inbox providers' trust again by starting slow, getting high open rates, and just slowly working your way out of it, if that makes sense, right? And here's an example, right? Perfect example, actually. This brand right here was doing 16% open rates. One of our clients, 16% open rates. Obviously not great at all. Barely generating any revenue from that. Okay. We triaged their list that was sending to about 7,000 people. We only sent it to about 800 people. No, wait, guys, I'm bad at math. Like 500 people if they had a 75% open rate. So sending to like barely anybody on their list, but check out how high their open rate was. 75% open rate and a 4% click rate. That is beautiful. That's perfect. That's exactly what inbox providers want to see. And then I should have honestly shown the rest of the progressions, but we slowly opened it up even more and more and more. And eventually now we're getting 60% open rates on, a list of 20,000 people, which 20,000 people is not a huge list, but still, you get the idea. We worked them out of spam pretty quickly. So that's that. Now, in terms of the actual segments, what you're going to want to do is set up these specific segments and send at least, I like to do 2 campaigns to each segment while monitoring open rates. Okay. One thing to note here is that these segments are honestly just like guidelines on where to start. The main idea that you want to kind of understand is that, again, start with a super tight segment, work your way up to eventually reach as many people as possible while maintaining 50% plus open rates. Okay. So if you can send to, like I say, start with a 14-day engaged, but if you can start with a 30-day engaged and still get 50% plus, right, then start there and work your way out from there. But if you try that and you still can't get a 50% plus, then go back down to 14-day. If you try 14-day and you can't get a 50% plus, go to 7-day, right? Like just keep going down until you can get any sort of engagement whatsoever. Okay. But for the sake of the video, I like to start with 14-day engaged. That usually gets most people out of the spam folder, like unless you're just like 2% open rates, like ridiculous, right? I have a client right now, when we started with them like 2 weeks ago, they were at like 7% open rates, which is honestly one of the lowest I've seen. And again, their list was lying dormant for a long time, right? They haven't been emailing it. So of course, that's what it's going to be like. And we're already working it up. We're above 40% now. But anyways, I'm getting off topic here, guys. You got to stop me when I do that. I just ramble. 14-day engaged, right? So basically, these are the filters here. Can receive email marketing. Obviously, we don't want to send emails to people who have unsubscribed. Pretty basic, should be on all of your segments. Opened email at least once in the last 14 days. Pretty simple. And then I like to throw in active on site in the last 90 days, just to add that extra layer of like security engagement that they are engaged, right? And then here's what it looks like. Pretty simple. I mean, you guys all know segments, but feel free to pause and just copy this if you don't. But yeah, that's where you want to start. 14-day engaged. Send 2 campaigns to those segments. See how it performs. If it's above 50%, move on to the 30-day engaged. Then you're going to open it up some more. Okay, you see what I'm saying? We're opening it up. Can receive email marketing. Opened email at least once in the last 30 days. Active on site in the last 120 days. Feel free to pause it. This is what it looks like. Let me move my big head. Okay, pretty simple there. Send 2 emails to these people. If they engage, if you get 50% plus open rates, move on to your 60 or 90-day openers, right? Keep going. Okay, can receive email marketing. Opened email on at least once in the last 60 to 90 days, depending on how things look. Like if you got a killer open rate on this one, on the 30-day, just jump to 90 days, right? Like a killer. I'm talking like 70 something percent, right? You probably won't. But if you do, just move right to 90. If you don't, move to 60. If it's still kind of bad, just stay at 30 and just keep working things, try to play around with the content, right? But yeah, the next progression is usually 60 to 90. Feel free to pause it. Again, pretty simple. Can receive email marketing, opened email at least once in either the last 60 days or the last 90 days. And then finally, the segment that we like to send to just like all the time is 120-day openers. So these people are going to be pretty engaged, and it's also going to be big enough to where like you're hitting a good portion of your list, right? And by all means, if you can expand it further and still get 50% plus open rates, that's awesome. If you can send to people who have opened an email in the last 365 days and you can get a good open rate, then by all means do it. Like you want to maximize the amount of people you're sending to and maximize your open rate. So if you can send to your entire list, which is highly unlikely, but if you can send to your entire list and get 55% open rates, just do that. Like that's perfect. And you know what I mean? So yeah, next you're going to want to end with a 120-day opener. Okay, so pretty simple. Can receive and then open email at least once in the last 120 days. Feel free to pause, although you've probably done this by like 3 or 4 times by now. So you get that. Now, the last thing I want to say here, just to kind of really hammer it home, you need to stay consistent. Okay. If you don't have a campaign calendar or a campaign schedule, definitely create one of those in advance because it'll help keep you accountable, or just hire someone like myself and my team. At the start of every month, we'll give you a full calendar of exactly what we're building you and exactly what emails we're sending on which dates to which people. If you don't want to, work with an external partner like mine, although we guarantee results and we have full refunds on our service, subtle plug one more time, definitely make sure to make a calendar and hold yourself accountable to it. You need to stay consistent. Typically 2 campaigns per week is what we do for most of our clients. And that typically works the best. And that's a good cadence to where you can really squeeze out a good bit of revenue and you can be consistent enough to where people are getting into the habit of opening your emails, right? Don't really try to have like long pauses or breaks in between your emails. Some people will take like a month off. A lot of brand owners I talk to are like, oh, I just send emails when I have time. So it could be twice a week for 2 weeks, and then I don't send an email for a month. And it's like, you need to be consistent, right? Hammering that home, create a schedule, shoot for 2 campaigns per week. Okay. So hope you guys got some value from that video. Kind of rambled there, but yeah, a lot of good stuff in there. That's kind of how I approach deliverability. And yeah, last thing I'll say, if you are an e-commerce brand watching this and you want a team of experts to come in and help you scale your Klaviyo account completely done for you, so you don't have to lift a finger, click the first link in the description to book a call with me directly. It's not going to be like a sales rep. You'll get on a call with me. We'll talk through your brand. No pressure at all either. Like if you just want some advice, we could totally do that. And you can share your screen. We can go over your Klaviyo account together. I can give you my thoughts. I can give you kind of like our different packages and what type of results we would guarantee for your brand. So I appreciate it, guys. Looking forward to it. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.